The first step is to trim back just the outer insulator, and I typically go back about just about an inch, 20 to 25 millimeters or so, and just use kind of a rotating motion here to slice through, and just careful so that you don't nick into the shield too much. The next step is to trim back the shield, and it's typically going to be about 7 millimeters or a little over a quarter of an inch, and you could either do it by measuring or simply just use the connector as a guide, recognizing that the end of this ferrule is going to line up right about with the end of the black insulator, and you want the braid to end just before this shoulder. So you can just trim it just by using the connector as a guide. To slip the compression ferrule over the end of the coax and get it down out of your way here for the time being. Just trim the length of the center conductor, and we can use again the connector pieces as our guide. We stick the center conductor on here, we can see how much length I need to trim away so that when this thing is fully seated, the bottom of this hits the center insulator here. So it looks like I need to take about looks like about 3 millimeters off of there, or a little more than 1/8 of an inch. Let's see how close I got here. Looks like I get to take just another little bit more off of that. Okay, so it looks like we've got that length now right. So now we're all ready to do our 2 crimps. So this first crimp is on the center conductor, and it's always a little tricky sometimes to get everything lined up here. It feels like you need 3 hands. But I think we can get this thing lined up and give ourselves a good crimp here. There we go. Now just double check that that's good and tight and not coming off. And the next step is to insert the connector on. And we want to kind of make sure that the braid goes all around on the outside here. So we'll just push that on and push the braid up tight against the crimping ferrule. And then once we have got that in place, the connector is all pushed in as tight as it's going to go. We're bottoming out that center insulator against the inside of the connector. We can bring our crimping sleeve up and cover this up. And now we're ready to crimp that. Okay, so now this one's a little bit easier here. We stick this in the correct ferrule here. And I like to not quite bottom it out, but leave myself a little bit of a gap on both sides here. And then we'll crimp that down. And with that, we are done. This connector is on there good and tight. It's not going anywhere. And I've done this for many years. These connectors can serve you well for many years to come, and they're very easy to do.